Hello again everybody and welcome back to Fujit's Blitz with me, Fujit. Hello, how's everybody doing? And in this video we're going to be looking at this tank, the RU251. It is the German Tier 8 light tank and it's a bloody beaut of a tank. A lot of people, however, really struggle in this one and we'll get to see why. But I decided to drop down back to the lower tiers because every man and his dog effectively does Tier 10. So we're going to deep dive into this one, get a look at its overview and see what it's all about. This little tank, the RU251, is a tech tree tank. It's found in the German tech line. And as I said, it's found in Tier 8 and it's a light tank. And boy, what a light tank it is. Now, the thing about this tank is, this is according to Blitz stars. It has a pretty bad win rate. It's actually called the Sparpanzer RU251. And you can see there, it's coming up bottom of the list for all the tech tree lights, with the T49 topping it. However, I would say it's a bit of a misnomer because it doesn't have many battles, but it has actually 800. It's the second most played Tier 8 light. So what is going on with this tank? Why are people struggling in it? Why has it only got a 48.13% win rate? By far the worst win rate of all of the lights out there. Not only that, it's got a pretty low DPM. That's a damage per battle, by the way. Look at that, 989. So there's got to be a reason, and that is what we're going to be looking into. Like I said, this is a bit of a deep dive, so we're going to have a brief overview here. It has 1,378 hit points. That ain't many, let's be honest. It's got pretty low damage outcome, 225. The rate of fire is pretty low, 11 rounds a second. Penetration's not too bad, 189 millimeters. The armor, well, what armor? There isn't any. It's absolutely paper thin. And the speed, well, that's nice, 45. It's above average, almost topping the list, with good rotation in degrees. What about the survivability? Wow. As I said, hit points 1,378, but look at this armor. The armor is not to be seen. We'll get into the armor profile shortly, but there is literally no armor. Chance of engine fire is not too bad, 12%. We'll get to see that in the modules. View range is pretty nice for a Tier 8, almost 300 meters. And its camouflage isn't too bad either. 55 while stationary and moving, and 13% whilst firing. So you can see here where you're starting to get the troubles. It is the armor. What about the armaments? Well, the gun itself isn't too bad. It's got a DPM of 2,538. It has quite a lengthy reload time, not as lengthy as the T49, of course, of 5.32 seconds. Penetration, well, on its standard AP, it's 189. On its heat, 275, and the HE is pretty good at 112. Damage output, where you're knocking out 225 on the standard AP, 190 on its premium heat, 270 on its HE. It's got a pretty decent aim time of 2.8 seconds, and the dispersion isn't too bad. You can, in fact, snipe in this thing quite easily. Gun depression wise, well, it's got 18 degrees looking up and 10 degrees looking down. Again, that isn't too bad. But like all things light, everybody wants to know about its maneuverability. So it has a top speed going forward of 80 kilometers an hour. That is pretty stonkingly good. Reverse 24, but the average speed is around 45. You can see here that the train crossing over the road is 136 and over the ground is 121. It's a pretty light tank. It's only 25 tons and the power to weight ratio isn't too bad. It gets that engine power quite easily down onto those tracks to make it zip across the ground. So with that in mind, that's the stats out of the way. Where are the problems? As I said, the problems generally revolve around the armor. So let's jump into the armor and have a look at that one. So let's have a look at this armor on this tank because it's pretty bad, to be fair. It has 36 millimeters angled at the front. Now that is not good. I mean, strictly speaking, it's only got 20 millimeters, but because of that angle, you are going to get up to 36 millimeters before you can start penning it, but everybody can pen it frontally. 36 millimeters is nothing. The lower plate is only 37 millimeters because, again, it's got that angle. And again, whilst it sounds nice, every man and his dog is going to be able to hit you from here till next week. What about on the turret? Well, the gun mantle has 50 millimeters. It's pretty hard to pen the mantle, but the side of the turret is only 21 millimeters, so everybody is going to go through that. This thing is an HE magnet, and you have to remember that. So if you're going to front line this tank, you are going to be in a world of pain. It is that straightforward. In fairness, the sides are not much better. Again, 21 millimeters. That's all it is on the side of the turret. And what about the side of the tank itself? Well, again, 21 millimeters. Everybody is going to hurt you. And as I said earlier, this is an HE magnet. Be aware of that. Let's have a look at these modules, because everybody likes to do an ammo rack. And this tank can, in theory, be ammo racked just like any other tank. It has two ammo racks, one on the floor, which you're going to absolutely struggle to hit, and one at the very front. Now, the one at the front is obviously easier to get to. However, don't be misunderstood. I don't see RUs getting ammo racked that much. But if you have a nicely round HE round into the front of this thing, the chances are you will be able to get an ammo rack. Maybe. So that's where the ammo rack modules are. And like I said, it's pretty difficult to actually ammo rack this thing. I have seen it happen, but it's not that common. But if you aim for the front, the chances are increased on getting that ammo rack. Just having another view here of the ammo rack, as you can see, right at the front and right on the deck. The engine is at the back. There it is, the big red thing at the back. So if you get a good shot into the back of this thing, you can get an engine fire, although it is only 12%. The chances are you are going to cripple it mobility-wise. This thing is so easily tracked also. Okay, so we've got the boring stuff out of the way. I'm not going to show you what I'm loading it up with. There's no point. I mean, you have to pick and choose your equipment on this one. The equipment's pretty straightforward. You may want to try it with a camo net. What with 55% rating already, the camo net does help, but I do use it with optics. Calibrated shells, always an option, as you know. So just play around with the equipment on this one. Remember, it's a light, so you can play around with things like the refined gun and the vertical stab. Chances are you will be firing on the move in this thing, so vertical stab is nice, brings the aim time down, but it's got a pretty decent aim time anyway. With that refined gun, you're just going to be reducing that dispersion over distance. Anyway, let's jump into a couple of replays and let's see how this little beastie plays and what tips and tricks we can use to get you playing better in an RU251. Right, here we go on Himmelsdorf in our little RU251. Now, I always take it to this little spot because it's great to get those spots in. And as you can see there, we already get that Chimera. Now, if you can't remember, light tanks like to be mobile. Now, the thing is, I've done a video on how to play lights. Go and check that out, because a lot of people do struggle with light tanks. The idea being you've got to stay mobile. You've got to get yourself in a position whereby you can be relatively safe, whereby you can keep spotting everybody and doing what you can in a light. And that's all I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to spot up this AT7 and perma-track him, hopefully, so my team will turn up. And here comes little mini Fujit in the Chimera that he loves to play, to hopefully give that guy a bit of a hard time. I finally get a shot into him. We've done 421 damage. We did take one from the Chimera. That did not help. So with that in mind, we're relocating, and getting back around there. Poor old mini Fujit now is in a world of pain. Put one into the housing if we can. Yes, we can. And we're getting some good damage out. 210 damage there. That's not too bad. That one, he's sort of peaking and booming. So I'm just going to rotate back a little bit and now put some into the Chimera. Tracked him. Poor old mini Fujit's down. Our team is now coming up. The housing is gone. They have lost 2 tanks. We have lost 2 tanks. They've lost both their TDs. They've got 1 TD left. Now the Chimera is going to be pushed. Here comes the Keeler. So I've got to be careful of him. I'm going to do as much damage as I can to this Keeler and try my best to get shots in. He's a heavily armored tank. So you can see there, we're just bouncing that one, get one into the bottom plate, and now we're going to run away. And hopefully we're going to run away to bring that Keeler to chase us. It's 3 against 3. So we're by no means out of the woods here. I have got the drop on the Keeler. My mobility is much better than their mobility, That allows me to get out of the danger zone. There he is, all the way back there. They've got an IS-6 down here that's been tussling. We've done 1,500 damage by far. We're not setting any world records here. But now we put one nicely into the IS-6, get another one into his engine deck. There we go. Only 198 though. As long as we can keep him here, we're going to have a good time. Unfortunately, I muffed that shot up completely. He's gone. Just the Keeler left. I know where he is. He's heading towards that sea cap. We've done 1,900 damage. There he is. So we're going to use our mobility yet again to try and get round, put something into him, keep him bothered. Oh, we only track him. So, again, you know, the thing is, the penetration on the RU isn't too bad, but that tank is stonkingly hardcore to get through. We are therefore going to end up with 1,900 damage. We don't take any kills, but that is a good run in the RU. We're staying mobile, we're moving around, and that is what you should be looking to do in this tank. We got 3 spots, we damaged 5, we did what we could to help our team out. I'm happy with the way that the game ended up. Why wouldn't I be? You know, we're not top damage, but we're near as damn it. We come second. Well, I mean, that's good. And that's how you should be looking to play the RU. But let's jump into another game to see if we can improve on that. Jumping into the new Middleburg, which I must admit I am quite liking. I do like the flatness of it and how bright it is. A lot of people don't, but I'm liking this map. Going to the normal position, trying to look at that sea cap, and, well, there's nothing here. Now, the thing I've noticed a lot recently, a lot of teams are going into the town. Now, this is going to give me, to an extent, an advantage. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get up high, trying to get those spots. If there's anything there, there is nothing here. I'm going to work my way around. Hopefully, something will present. And with the gun that I've got on this thing, I'm going to be able to do some smacky. And here we go. They're all congested. So let's have a look at this Type. Oh, Type 59. Take a little bit of that. There's a Type 68. He's Tier 9. We're just in a prime location here. We're not spotted. We've got the gun on the tanks. We're in a good position. We can just farm away as much as we would like here. We back away a little bit. Now look, when you're presented with a situation like this, then yeah, mobility sort of comes out of the equation, because I don't need to be mobile. All I need to do is farm, and that's all I'm doing. I'm staying out of the danger zone, and I'm able to farm all of these tanks. Okay, I'm not putting massive damage in. I'm in an RU251 after all, but I'm getting good damage out there, and that's the trick. And, you know, this poor enemy team, they decided to go into the town, and they just got themselves into a mugger's buddle, basically, because they can't do anything. I've still not been spotted, by the way. I am still completely unspotted here, just farming away. Now, they're moving through. We've lost 2 tanks. They've lost 3 tanks. They're moving, so I've now got to get involved. We're capping the base, which I don't like. But then again, here we go. There's the Type 59. Put one into his front plate. We're already up to 2,000 damage. Take him down. Get our first kill. 2.2k. We've had a pretty successful game here. 1 tank left. Boom. There he goes. 2 kills. 2,366 damage. Most of that was farmed from the other side of the map. That is, again, a testament to how good and how accurate the gun on the RU is. We only get a second class for our troubles, but I don't care, because the RU is notoriously difficult to play. And you can have great fun in it. As you can see there, we came second top damage. That was a tier 9 game, effectively. That is why I love the RU251. It is a fantastic tank, and it's very versatile. That's my video on the RU251, the German tier 8 light tank. It's a beautiful tank. I absolutely adore it. And it's just a shame that it has such a low win rate, because I think it deserves better. But that's not for me to say. Hopefully that video has done you some good. Hopefully it's given you something to think about. By all means, comment and everything below, because that's the idea. Anyway, I've been Fujit. That has been the RU251. I look forward to reading all your comments, and until the next time, remember guys, it's just a game, so stay safe out there. Have fun on the battlefield, and happy tanking, because at the end of the day, that really is what it's all about. Having fun and being happy.